Men is directed by Alex Gardner and stars Jessie Buckley and Rory Kinnear. A young woman goes on a solo vacation to the English countryside following the death of her ex-husband and discovers that the village is filled with some less than friendly types of residents. If there is one word I can describe the marketing of this movie, it's effective. Whether it's the trailers or the posters, every single time I saw some advertisements for this movie, it was always an eerie feeling that I got. Just the image of the main character standing in the center of that tunnel. There is something very dark, dreary, and just spooky about it that I absolutely loved and did make me excited to see this movie. And to my shock, I mean that sarcastically, the movie was absolutely freaking terrifying and I loved it. First of all, this movie is gorgeous. Not only is the color palette of this movie either so vibrant that there is something eerie to it or so dark that there is something spooky to it, but there is something about just the stillness of the camera in most of the shots that either makes the film feel beautiful at times when it's just filming the countryside of England, or something very spooky when we're just following the main character and she's always in the center frame, but you see everything around her and you just think to yourself, is something in the background? And it is helped by the score, which is amazing. Both the score and the direction and the cinematography all mixed together to make the movie feel like a fever dream of sorts. Sometimes the movie can go into a bit lighter areas where we do experience the main character's freedom of being in the countryside of England around the beginning of the movie. And it is nice, but when we get into the later parts of the movie, then it turns dark, spooky, and just really stressful. It truly feels like you're in a dream that transitions into a nightmare. Well done to you, Alex Garland, and well done to whoever conducted the music. I didn't look up their name, so now I feel bad, but whoever it is, well done to you. And then there's the acting. The acting in this movie is so good that I guarantee you it will not be nominated for any Oscar because for some reason the Oscars have something against horror movies, despite how amazing the acting in those movies are. Jessie Buckley is heartbreaking as the character of Harper. She's so human in both the dialogue that she has with her friend over the phone, but also the grief and guilt that she feels over her husband's loss. And that grief mixed with how stressful the story becomes for her near the end, you really do root for her, and Buckley's performance is incredible. But the only person who outshines her at times is Rory Kinnear. He was the best part of this movie. The range that he has in this film, going from unexpected landlord to freakish monster. It's one of the best performances I've seen all year. And what they do with him using his range, inspired. It's a spoiler, so I can't give away what they do, but it's genius. And the story and the writing, it really makes you feel the way that Alex Garland must feel the way that he does about men as a gender and just the misogyny through generation after generation. And that disgusting misogyny mixed with the brilliant horror aspects of this film. As for flaws, apart with some tiny nitpicks that I have with the script itself, my biggest issue with the movie is that it can be a bit too pretentious at times. I get that it wants to be artsy, but when you have to take a break most of the time from the story in order to do your artsy montages, I'm not really a fan. I don't understand why so many filmmakers do this, and I've never understood it, and I don't like it, and I didn't like it in this movie when they did it. There are some instances in the script that don't make sense, and sometimes the film can be a bit too pretentious, but most of that I can forgive very easily because of how effective the rest of the film is. The acting is incredible, the cinematography is gorgeous, the soundtrack is eerie, the story is interesting, and the horror aspects are freaking terrifying. If I were to describe this film, I would say that it is a mix of the style of Midsommar and the horror aspects of Silence of the Lambs. If you liked both of those movies, I got good news for you. I'm going to give Men an A. Well guys, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, what movie made you feel the most stressed out? For me, even though it's not a horror movie, You know why this stressed me out. If you've seen it, you know why. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are the best. And don't forget to click subscribe and click the bell icon down below to stay up to date on all things movie, all things TV, all things nerd.